Welcome back to Charlottetown Islanders, Mr. Lubin Tire Hockey on the Islands Rock Max 93.1. Our pregame show continues, is now joined by Charlottetown Islanders head coach and GM Jim Hulton for our head coach's interview, where, Jim, we have to start it off. Obviously, the big news, former Islander Colton Ellis last night playing for the Buffalo Sabres. He was terrific, well-deserved win. Some great saves. Just talk about him and how proud you are in his presence on the island here in a short time.
It was an awesome moment. Hulton is a special guy who we remember fondly. I think the thing that sticks out was his professionalism and his daily preparation. I remember the first day we got him, he was in on the bike and prepared his body for practice, and that was a constant throughout. And he had that work ethic and professionalism well before he turned pro. And it's been fun to watch his journey. It certainly hasn't been an easy bum-free ride for him. He started at the East Coast, and he's earned the promotion the old-fashioned way through hard work and a lot of success over the years. But it was really, really special to see. Especially his family, he had the emotion on their faces, and just to see the smile on his face was really, really gratifying.
Great coverage from the QMJHL and NHL on that, as well as we shift over to now some current Islanders. And for the second time this year, the Islanders have a player who is the QMJHL Player of the Week, Will Shields. 7 goals, 1 assist. It seems like his confidence right now, Jim's through the roof.
I totally agree. I think that's the key. Will has got a special shot, and something that we've encouraged really since the time we got him to shoot the darn puck more, because he has a gift. If you go up to score a shot, you hear it a lot of times. And he and I in particular had talked about trying to get the shots up to, targeting 5 a game. He's not quite there yet, but boy, has he been hot. Back-to-back hat tricks or 2 hat tricks in a week. Most guys are happy as they get 1 in their career. So, confidence bodes well for goal scorers, and the fact that Willie's got out to the gate in such a wonderful fashion, I think bodes well for the rest of the year.
And now I want to talk about Nikita Voyaga up in the Q Prospects game. A great accomplishment for him as he looks to get NHL drafted. Not the only NHL draft eligible player on the Islanders. You look at guys like Nolan Dusky and Emil Alexandro Lemieux Goupil, but for especially Voyaga, nice to see him get a little bit of recognition.
It was. Those games are always nice things for kids to be involved in, and I think it's recognition for the fact that he is on the radar for the NHL draft. Lots of work and lots of runway left prior to that. But, I think we've seen a steady progression from Nikita. I think he used his experiences from last year, and we sometimes forget it's a big challenge, and particularly for these kids from Europe coming over. It's a new culture. They're living in a new family, new setting everywhere, and it takes time to adjust. But you can see he's a lot more comfortable both on and off the ice this year. And, he's been calmer in his play. He's been really strong and solid and steady, and it was nice to see him get that reward.
And now on to the matchup tonight against the Moncton Wildcats. Dylan MacKinnon will play against his former team. It's your guys' first time seeing Moncton. How did you guys prepare for this one against the reigning Q champs?
Preparation the same as it is every game in terms of, trying to assess what part of our game is going to be best suited to defeat Moncton. Yeah, they're a very good team. They're, in fact, a really good team. It's not a rebuild. It's a reload. They've went out and were really aggressive in the U.S. market, and then some high-end individual talent, and it feels like they're on the cusp of breaking through. And a bit of a contrasting style. We have to be big and strong and gritty every game for us to have success. They're more of a speed-based team, so that becomes kind of that chess match of what team can impose their will upon the other one. So for us, the keys will be, our forechecking, our net front play, the dirty areas. Can we dominate the dirty areas and slow their speed down?
Jim, as always, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That was Charlottetown Islanders head coach and GM Jim Hulton. When we come back, our Jameson Electric starting lineups. You're listening to Charlottetown Islanders Hockey, brought to you by Mr. Lubin Tire for all your car maintenance needs, 7 days a week. Welcome back to our intermission show. It's time now for our Fundy Agricultural Services intermission interview, where I'm happy to be joined by Will Shields and Matt Butler, straight out of Business 1710. And a few big names to get here because, Will, Q Player of the Week. First off, congratulations. But really, really strong start to the season for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been nice to kind of get going off the jump here as with myself and all the boys. And it's nice to get a little recognition at the end of the week as well.
And Butts, it's nice to have you here too, because you assisted on Will's 2 latest goals. But yourself, Butts, you're a point per game player right now, picking up right where you left off last year and not looking back, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good little start Shields just said, and it's good to kind of finish off last game where Willie had those 2 goals, and it was later in the third. So I mean, that's good for us, and hopefully pick it up more this weekend.
And you two will be on the line with CJ Watroba tonight. He's a guy first year with the Islanders, but really picked it up and has gotten more comfortable as of late. How do you like playing with him, and how have you liked seeing him grow?
Yeah, I mean, Siege was a great guy. He's like all rookies, kind of fitting into your mold and kind of getting used to the systems. And I think he's done that really well. He knows what he's good at, and plays for sprints really well. So it's nice to be playing with him a little bit and see him grow as well.
Yeah, I agree with what Shieldsy said there too. He's a rookie in the league, so I mean it's not always easy off the start, but I mean I think he's grown into his game really well off the rip here, and we're excited for it.
And now moving on to really the whole lineup, where you guys have 12 forwards and 6D. Every night, everyone's always chipping in. You see the fourth line doing some great work the last couple games, getting a lot of goals. Maybe we'll start with you for this one, Butts, but your thoughts on really everybody pitching in and never really having to worry about who's out there and always having a reliable line out.
Yeah, it's nice. I feel like the teams that are always the best are the teams that have all 4 lines going. So yeah, it's great to see that off the start here, and I mean hopefully like I said, it can continue.
Will, for you, Dylan MacKinnon, new player on the Islanders, the newest Islander, and playing against his former team here tonight. How's he been fitting in? Obviously, a veteran guy with lots of experience.
Yeah, like you said, Don's a guy that brings a lot of experience to the rink, and he's got some professional looks, and he's played with the Maple Leaf on his chest as well. So he's got a lot of experience, in junior and around the league too. So he's seen it all, and I think he's fitting in really well. And he's gonna be a little extra hungry this week to get going. But I think all the boys are ready to go.
But I mentioned it, but Dylan MacKinnon against his former team here tonight. Has he mentioned it at all? How's the excitement level for him? And is that going to add a little bit more for you guys maybe to help him get the win here?
Yeah, I mean he's excited. We all know that he came from Moncton, so I mean we all want to win for him. So we're gonna go out and play our game, and we should come out with a win.
And Willie, Moncton, obviously the reigning QMJHL champs. They have Gardner McDougall. They want to go at it again. They want to try to get another championship. A tougher start for them, but they've kind of settled in here. What's the game plan for you guys against a tough Wildcats team?
Yeah, they're a well-coached group. I mean, they've got a lot of speed up front, and they've got a lot of new guys. I don't think they dip too much in where they were last year. I mean, they still got a really strong group despite the departure of a lot of guys. So I think just sticking to our game is going to be really important. Not getting sucked in with their speed, sticking to our strengths in the forecheck and getting pucks in that, and I think we'll be all right.
And Butts, Rudy Guimond and Jacoby Weiner are the goalies for the Wildcats, especially Guimond. He came on and he was undefeated for close or maybe a little bit more than 20 games, but he's not an easy guy to score on as an offensive player. How are you guys trying to pot the puck here against him?
Yeah, I think the main thing Jim harped on us this week was just shooting everything. No matter if you're in the corner or wherever it is, we just need pucks on net and crash to the back post. So I mean, I think if we do that, we'll score some goals.
And last thing before we go, we had Jared's on last week, and he predicted that the Blue Jays were going to lose to the Yankees. But now that you guys are here, now that the Jays are in the World Series, I need some predictions. We'll go to you first, Willie. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, there's no talking that LA is not a big beast. They're definitely a new challenge than Seattle, but I've got to stick with my Jays. I think everyone in the country's rooting for them. It's not gonna be 4 games, but I think they can then take them down in maybe 5+ games.
Hey, Maddie, what about you?
Jays in 4.
Jays in 4. Statement from Butler. As we wrap up our Fundy Agricultural Services intermission interview, boys, thanks for coming on. We'll take a break. When we come back, our Murphy's Pharmacy's out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to Charlottetown Islanders Hockey, brought to you by Mr. Lube & Tire for all your car maintenance needs 7 days a week. Welcome back to our Fundy Agricultural Services intermission interview. I'm happy to be joined by one of the newest Charlottetown Islanders, Dylan MacKinnon. Dylan, thanks for coming on. And first off, how have you liked Charlottetown so far?
Hey, thanks for having me. Charlottetown's been nothing but the best. I'm really excited to be here and be with this group of boys. And it's been nothing but the best so far. So I'm looking forward to the future.
And you're a few games into your Islanders career, a veteran presence for you coming in here. How have the first few games felt in a new uniform?
Yeah, it's obviously super exciting. I think they went pretty well. I think the track record will also agree with that. So yeah, no, obviously we're gonna keep pushing forward and keep cleaning up our game, and it's we got a good team, and we got a good team to really do this year. So I think just kind of keep that mentality. It's gonna be all right in the end.
And you've been playing most of your time so far with Owen Conrad on the second D pairing. Just talk to us about him. How have you liked his game so far, and how has it been adjusting to play with him and get that chemistry?
Yeah, like honestly, there's been very little adjusting to do. Another maritime boy, so it's like super easy to communicate with one another on and off ice, and obviously he's a veteran presence in this league. He was one of the longest standing Q guys in NHL camp too, I believe. So obviously like the kid's got experience, and he's been a treat to play with. So I've really enjoyed it so far.
And that's exactly leading into my next question. You talked about his long time with Toronto at their training camp. You've been to some training camps as well. Have you guys talked about that at all? Maybe has he had any questions for you early on?
Nothing major. I mean, I think it's just kind of how I go about it, kind of how I deal with it. We talked about it one day in the sauna for a little bit, but it was just, yeah, it was a brief conversation, nothing too into depth. But yeah, no, I just kind of sure some old guy wisdom at him now, I guess.
And now, turning our attention here to tonight against the Moncton Wildcats, your former team, how's it going to be facing off against a bunch of your old buddies?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's hockey. I'm having fun regardless of where I'm at. Obviously, it's gonna be funny to see some familiar faces, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. I got a job to do, and it's not be friends with people out there. So
Yeah, I'm sure that Jim Hulton and the Islanders fans will enjoy that answer. I want to ask you about Gardner McDougall because he's a legend around the Maritimes and now AUS and now even the QMJHL. He's been getting some national coverage. He's a guy who knows how to win. How was your time with Coach Mac?
yeah, I'm sure if you asked 100 people that, they'd say just about the same thing. You love him, like he makes you love the game, and he makes you do the stuff you don't want to do, but with a positive attitude, just because it's so much fun, right? Like I don't know, just the way he approaches every day-to-day life, it's truly motivating, and just you want to be the best version of yourself for him, and your teammates around you and all that, and he really does push you to do so, and it's just a recipe for success at the end of the day. And I still think about stuff that he told me last year that I still try to incorporate into my day-to-day life every day. So he's nothing but the best, super classy guy. Obviously he's got a good rep, and yeah, I thank him for that opportunity last year, and yeah, it was a good time, but it's over now, so it was 30.
On to the present for sure, and I like that mindset. Not sure if you saw it, but the other day there's a video of his pregame speech for the prospects game where he went around to everybody and he said something. Was that a regular thing? Did he have any really good pregame speeches? What was he like before the game in the room?
I don't want to give too much up about his routines, because I know he holds them close to his heart and stuff, but yeah, he would go around the room and just kind of check in on everyone, and then he'd read the lineup. But it was pretty electric, if we're being honest.
That's awesome. Now, switching focus, it's kind of an odd question because we're still so early into the season, but you take a look all the way down the road to the end of the regular season and into the playoffs. You've won in this league before. You're a reigning QMJHL champion. The Islanders, they want to go deep. They want to gain some playoff experience. There's not a whole lot of kids on this team that have playoff experience. Maybe looking to you as a leader, how are you kind of planning to help these guys down the stretch?
Absolutely. I mean, as far as helping them out, I don't think I'll play a huge role in that. These guys, they're all veterans at the end of the day. Like a lot of them have been around the league. A lot of them have good experience and stuff. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, I might step up sometimes and just like, kind of, depending on where the emotion is, just kind of try and bring them back down, and just like, let them know what we need to focus on in order to, kind of get there and uh, stay there almost, you know what I mean? And just, Yeah, I mean, like I said, like all these guys, like they know it has to be done, and that's why I'm really excited to be here. It's not it's not a question like whether the talent's there, their grit's not there. It's all there this year, and obviously we're gonna, like I said, keep cleaning up in certain areas of the game, and it's just gonna make every single one of us better, and it's just gonna make the game a lot easier to play in June.
Dylan, thanks so much for your time here today.
Unreal, appreciate it.
That was Charlottetown Islanders' newest defenseman, Dylan MacKinnon. When we come back, we will have our Murphy's Pharmacy's out-of-town scoreboard. You're listening to Charlottetown Islanders Hockey, brought to you by Mr. Lube and Tire for all your car maintenance needs, 7 days a week.